Clara Evans had never been good at blind dates. She was broke, working 2 part-time jobs, and had exactly 0 time for romance. But when her best friend insisted she meet someone absolutely perfect, Clara reluctantly agreed. The restaurant was chic but intimidating. Candlelight glinted off wine glasses and the soft hum of conversation filled the air. She wore her favorite blue dress, not fancy, just clean and neat, and hoped she looked presentable enough. Across from her, a man with dark hair and tailored suit smiled politely. He extended a hand. "Clara Evans?" he asked. "Yes," she said, shaking it. "And you are?" "I'm Nathan Cole," he replied. Something in her chest sank. Nathan Cole, the name sounded familiar, and then it clicked. He was the CEO of Cole Media, one of the fastest-growing marketing companies in the city. Her eyes widened. "Wait, you're Nathan Cole?" "Yes," he said, raising an eyebrow. "You seem surprised." I didn't know my blind date was you." He laughed softly. "Nor did I." For the next few minutes, Clara tried to focus on casual conversation, but her mind was racing. What would she even say? She had no connections, no fancy degree, just a resume full of part-time jobs, a few freelance projects, and sheer determination to survive. Then he did something unexpected. "So, Clara," Nathan said, leaning slightly forward, "tell me what you do for work." "Oh, I work at a cafe, and sometimes I freelance for small marketing projects." She shrugged, nervous. "And what kind of projects?" he asked, genuinely curious. She swallowed. "Mostly social media posts, small campaigns for local businesses. Nothing big." He smiled faintly. "That's still experience. Creativity matters more than budgets sometimes." Clara blinked. His words were kind, but she couldn't shake the feeling that her resume would make him laugh. Then the waiter brought their meals, and conversation drifted to safer territory: favorite books, terrible blind date stories, the city skyline at night. Clara was starting to relax, until Nathan leaned back, casually folding his hands. "Clara, I have to ask," he said, serious now. "Do you want to grow in marketing? Beyond cafe promotions and small gigs?" Her fork froze mid-bite. I'd love to, but I don't know how." "Then why not take a chance," he said, his tone gentle but piercing. "Sometimes the best opportunities come disguised." Her heart thudded. She glanced down at the tablecloth. Was he offering her a job? At first she didn't dare hope. Nathan continued, "I know a lot about you, Clara. Your resume may be modest, but your portfolio? Impressive. Creative ideas, attention to detail, it's rare to find someone who knows both art and marketing." Clara's mouth went dry. I don't know what to say." "Say you'll come work for me," he said, smiling lightly. "Full-time, if you're willing. Learn, grow, take the challenges. I can teach the rest." She choked on her wine. You're offering me a job?" "Here?" "Yes," he said simply. "I believe in taking chances." For a moment, Clara thought this was some kind of trap. But the warmth in his eyes, the quiet confidence without arrogance, convinced her it was real. I don't know what to say," she murmured. "Say yes," he said, leaning forward slightly. Yes," she said, breathless. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. They finished dinner, talking about work, goals, and life. Nathan shared stories about starting his company, the struggles, the mistakes, and the triumphs. Clara talked about her projects, her dreams, and the long nights she spent figuring out how to pay bills while still pursuing creativity. By the time they left, the restaurant lights were dim, and the city streets were quiet. Nathan walked beside her, not touching, not hovering, just walking, calm and reassuring. "So," he said finally, "first day Monday? 9 a.m.? I'll personally show you around the office." Clara nodded, heart racing. "Yes. I can't believe this is happening. You'll do fine, he said with a grin. I already know you have the drive. And in that moment, Clara realized something. This blind date, this a disaster she had feared, had turned into the most important night of her life. Monday morning. Clara arrived early, nervous but determined. Nathan greeted her at the reception with a warm smile. Ready? He asked. I think so, she said, gripping her bag. He led her through the office, open spaces filled with creativity, brainstorming sessions, and walls covered with colorful ideas. She couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. This is amazing, she whispered. It's only as amazing as the people in it, Nathan said, eyes lingering on her for a moment longer than necessary. During the tour, he introduced her to the team, explaining her role as an assistant marketing coordinator, a position she hadn't imagined she'd even qualify for. But Nathan's faith in her was clear, and by the time she sat at her desk, she knew she could do it. Weeks passed. Clara worked hard, learning quickly and impressing the team. Nathan was supportive, sometimes challenging her, always encouraging growth. But something else happened, quietly, in between deadlines and meetings. The smiles lingered, the glances lasted a little longer, the casual touches, handing over coffee, tapping her shoulder, meant more than work. One evening, after a successful campaign launch, Nathan asked her to stay behind for a minute. You've done incredible work this week, he said. More than I expected. He hesitated, then smiled. I'm glad we met that night. Clara blushed. Me too. He leaned slightly closer. You know, that blind date? I think it was the best mistake I ever made. She laughed softly. I was thinking the same thing. And when he brushed a strand of hair from her face, it felt like everything had fallen into place, a blind date, a job offer, and something far more personal all wrapped into one. Months later. Clara had grown into her role, confident and creative. Nathan's respect for her work never wavered, and neither did his fondness for her. One evening, after a long day, he asked her to dinner, no business talk, no awkwardness, just the two of them. They walked along the city streets, lights shimmering on wet pavement. Clara laughed at a joke he made, and he smiled, tucking his arm around hers. You know, Nathan said softly, I hired you because I believed in your talent. But I stayed because I like you. A lot. Clara looked up, heart skipping. I like you too, she admitted. He leaned in, brushing his lips against hers in a gentle kiss, the kind that promised beginnings instead of endings. And for Clara, the poor girl who had once thought a blind date would be a disaster, life had suddenly become the most beautiful mistake she could imagine.